Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be trying out some new makeup from Wet n Wild, and I actually purchased everything in store. I went to Walgreens the other day, and I rarely buy drugstore makeup inside of an actual drugstore. I usually just buy it online, but I had a lot of fun looking for all the products that I wanted to try. I'm also going to be doing a wear test today, so I'm going to try to wear everything for 4 to 6 hours. Before we get into it, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up if you do enjoy it, and let's get into it. Okay, let's start off with the skin tint. This is the Wet n Wild BareFocus Niacinamide Skin Tint with 5% niacinamide. My skin responds really well to a niacinamide, so I'm always really interested in products that have it, whether it's skincare or makeup. This also has hyaluronic acid and peony extract, and it claims to give you 24-hour hydration, so I'm not expecting it to wear a super long time, but I just want to see how long it wears until it starts looking bad on me. I was gonna pick up the shade light medium, but that one had a cool undertone, so I decided to go with these two shades instead. I got Fair Beige, which is a light warm shade, and Cream Beige, which is a medium warm. And I'm actually gonna swatch these on my face so you can see the difference. But see how that one almost matches me. It's just once I apply it all over, it does look a little bit light, so adding a little bit of the medium shade really helps out. And then here is Cream Beige, which clearly does not match me at all. So that one I definitely can't wear on its own. I'm gonna apply this with a brush because it does have sheer coverage, so I wanna get as much coverage out of it as I can. So that is one layer with a brush, and it is sheer coverage, but I'm pretty happy with it. It gave my skin an overall even look. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of my face. I don't love that this has a dropper type of applicator. I do wish it had a pump, but it's blending out really easily, and I don't feel like it's sticking to any of my dry patches. Around the sides of my nose, it looks okay. That's usually my problem area with any foundation, so I'm not expecting it to look great there because it never really does with any foundation. I'm gonna press it in a little bit with my sponge. Hopefully this doesn't take away too much coverage because I am liking the coverage that it has right now. I don't want to build it up any more than this just to not have too much product on my skin, but I could probably build it up just a little bit. Okay, it took off a little bit of coverage on my cheek. I am seeing a little bit of redness peeking through. I am liking the way my skin looks overall right now, but it does look a little too shiny, so hopefully some powder will tone it down. But I'm gonna go ahead and apply some concealer. I'm gonna try to use as many Wet n Wild products as I can, so I'm gonna use the Mega Last Incognito Concealer, and I have the shade Light Honey. This is a really good drugstore concealer. It does have, I want to say, medium coverage and a matte finish, but it doesn't look too drying on my under eyes. I don't have a bronzer from Wet n Wild, but I'm going to use the Milani Liquid Contour in the shade 02 Ginger. I haven't used this in a little bit, but I do remember liking it. And I know it says it's a contour shade, but this is a bronzer on me. Okay, this looks really orange. I don't remember it being this orange. Hopefully it looks okay once I blend it out. So Wet n Wild came out with these new liquid blushes. These are the Mega Glow Lip and Cheek colors, and I picked up the shades Coral Dream and Rosy Romance. I feel like a lot of brands have been coming out with these kinds of liquid blushes, and honestly, I'm here for it. I do love this kind of formula. I've noticed that they do tend to wear a really long time because of how pigmented they are. So I'm gonna apply one on each cheek. So let's start off with the shade Rosy Romance. I remember 2 dots was about enough for each cheek. So these are for your cheeks and your lips, which is kind of a cool idea, especially for quick everyday looks. You can just use one product for 2 different purposes. So that is 2 dots of the shade Rosy Romance. And I think this is perfect for an everyday look, but I'm gonna try to build it up a little bit more. Let's do one more dot. These do have a bit of a moussey, but still gel-like consistency, if that makes any sense. I feel like the Rare Beauty ones are definitely more of a true liquid gel blush formula. And these are as well, but they have a little bit of that moussiness that makes them a little different. So that was 3 dots in total of Rosy Romance. Let's go ahead and do Coral Dream. So I'm gonna start off with 2 dots as well. And I think this one was a little bit more pigmented. Yeah, a little bit more. So I might just stick to 2 dots on this cheek. I would say Coral Dream is my favorite shade out of the 2 that I got. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna add any more of the shade Coral Dream. This one is probably my favorite. I like Rosy Romance as well, but I just love peachy coral shades like this. They do have a bit of a wet looking finish, but I don't know if that's just because of the skin tint that I have underneath. Maybe if I were to pair this with a different type of foundation, like with a different finish, they wouldn't look so dewy on my cheeks. So I'm gonna have to play around with them with some other foundations, but I think they look really pretty. They're pretty easy to work with considering how pigmented they are, especially if you just start off with 1 or 2 dots. Before I forget, I am gonna show you what these look like on my lips. So let's start with the shade Rosy Romance. So that is with 2 layers, and I think it looks okay. I don't love the way it looks on my lips. I feel like this formula looks better as a liquid blush, but on my lips it seems to emphasize a little bit of dryness. So let's go ahead and try Coral Dream. I don't love this type of shade on my lips. I love it on my cheeks, but on my lips I feel like it just doesn't flatter my skin tone very well. And it is emphasizing some of that dryness. Let me build it up a little bit more like I did with the other shade. It's a really pretty color, but just not something that I like on me, at least not as a lip color. But I can see some people really liking these as kind of a 2-in-1 product. Luckily, these don't seem to stain my lips. I was able to remove it pretty easily. Okay, I'm just gonna reapply some of my lip balm. This is from e.l.f. This is the Squeeze Me Lip Balm in Grape. I'm gonna go ahead and set my entire face with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent Setting Powder. This has been a favorite for years now. I really need to set my face because I am looking pretty shiny, but my skin doesn't feel super sticky. It does feel like the skin tint dried down, so it doesn't feel uncomfortable, thankfully. I hate the feeling of a sticky foundation or skin tint. Like I can't with that. So luckily this doesn't feel that way, even though it does look quite hydrated. I'm gonna set my under eyes with this smaller brush from Spectrum. This is from their Pasheen collection. This is the 832 brush, and I love it for my under eyes. And then I'm gonna switch over to this bigger brush for the rest of my face. This is the Morphe by Ariel A21 brush. That looks better already with a little bit of powder. I just took a closer look in my mirror and I hadn't noticed this, so I don't know when it started, but it looks like the foundation is sort of peeling around my nose and my upper lip. I might have to zoom you in a little more because I don't think I'm close enough to the camera, so let me do that. Okay, I don't know if you can see that, but right around here, it looks like the foundation is like peeling off of my skin. I've never seen that happen before, so I don't know if it's just maybe the skin tint is interacting with something in my skincare. That's like the only thing I can think of, because I didn't use any primer, so yeah, I don't know what is going on. This is not looking as good as I thought it was. It looked okay the first few minutes that I applied it, but just now I realized something is going on. I did pick up another blush from Wet n Wild. This is the Color Icon blush in the shade Naked Brown, and it's not a new formula, but it is a new shade. They did have one other shade online, but I couldn't find it in store. I just really wanted to try this one because I love blush shades like this. It's like a nude peachy brown. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply a little bit of that. And this is a Rephr 05 brush. I used to use this only for powder bronzer, but I've been really liking it for powder blush. I feel like it picks up just the right amount and then it lays it down on my skin really nicely. But that is a really pretty shade. I went ahead and did my brows off camera just to save some time, but I did pick up this new Mega Last Eyeshadow Primer. It says that it's new, but I feel like I've seen this kind of primer from them from a few years ago. I don't know if they just redid the packaging or maybe the formula as well, but this one claims to be transparent and up to 16-hour wear. I don't have any eyeshadows from Wet n Wild, so I'm just gonna use, I was thinking maybe the Milani Gilded Mini Palette, the all matte one, but I feel like I've been doing a lot of neutral and warm looks, so maybe I'll go with this one from e.l.f. This is the bite-sized eyeshadow palette in Berry Bad. Maybe I'll go with this one, especially because it's February now and it's time for some Valentine's Day looks, and that one is very like pinky. This one is a lot thinner than the Milani one. I really like that one, but I think I'm gonna have to replace it soon because I have had it for several years and I feel like it's just not performing as well as it used to. It's kind of hard to get out of the tube now. But I'm gonna blend that light matte shade into the crease. This one is really light, so I do have to build it up a little bit. But it's a really pretty pinky mauvey shade. Somehow shades like this always translate a little bit warmer on my skin tone, so it does look like it leans a little peachy on me, even though it looks more mauvey in the pan. That happens to me with any shade like this. It'll look pretty cool toned in the pan, and then once I apply it to my eyes, the tone changes. And then I'm gonna layer both of the shimmers. So I'm gonna start with the more copper one, and then I'm gonna layer the other one on top. I like the way these shades are applying over top of this primer, but I'm definitely gonna have to test it with some other palettes and other eyeshadow formulas to really see. And then I'm gonna layer that pinky shade over top. And I love layering these together because it creates a really pretty sort of rose gold shade. And then taking a little bit more of that matte shade and just using it to blend out the edges. I'm also taking that matte shade on the lower lash line. And then taking that deepest matte shade, I'm gonna apply some to the upper lash line. Just kind of smudging it. Doesn't have to be too precise. And also taking some on the lower lash line, just keeping it about halfway. I'm gonna go ahead and apply the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Matte Finish Setting Mist. And I'm pretty sure this is just repackaged. I remember seeing that they already had a matte setting spray, which I've never tried before. I've only tried their natural finish one. This one I tried the other day, and the mister is just okay. It's a little intense at times, like it doesn't come out perfectly even. So you do feel it go onto your skin. Yeah, that's definitely not a fine mist at all. I could really feel the droplets on my skin. I don't know about the formula, but the mister is just not good in my opinion. I'm gonna go ahead and apply some mascara now. And I know this is in Drugstore, but this is the Rare Beauty mascara. I picked up two of these new rich satin lipsticks. This one is in the shade Brandy Kiss, and this is like a deep brownish reddish shade. This is such a creamy formula and it's very pigmented as well. And then I also got the shade Hush Lil Beige, and this one is a pinky nude shade. Super pretty as well. So that is Hush Lil Beige. I really like this one. I normally wouldn't go for shades like this because I feel like a lot of pinky nude shades just don't look right on me, but this one is really pretty. And then this one is Brandy Kiss. I really like this one as well. I just really like this formula because of how creamy it is. It just glides right onto your lips, and I don't feel like it's gonna be drying at all. So I filled in my lips with the Maybelline Color Sensational Shaping Lip Liner in the shade Totally Toffee. And I think I'm actually gonna top this with the lighter shade, Hush Low Beige. I feel like that'll pair a little bit better with this lip liner and with the eye look. Okay, yeah, I'm glad I went with this one. I feel like Brandy Kiss was way too deep for this look and almost too like reddish. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a wear test. I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to wear everything because it is 5 p.m. now, but so far I'm not loving this skin tint. I liked it a lot more the first time that I tried it when I just applied it really quickly after I got home from buying everything, but that's the reason why I don't like doing first impressions, because everything can change from one day to the next, especially depending on the other complexion products that you use. Everything else is looking really nice. I'm loving the blushes. Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna hold up for 4 to 6 hours, but I'm gonna try to wear it for as long as I can. But I will see you guys at the check-in and let you know how everything wore. Okay, I've been wearing this makeup for about 6 hours now. It is now exactly 11 p.m. and I am still not liking the skin tint. It actually got a little bit worse after a couple of hours. It started peeling on my chin. It stayed the same around my nose and around my upper lip. And on the corners of my mouth, it does look pretty dry and cakey. And in some areas of my face, it also looks like it's just like sitting on top of my skin. I'm also looking really shiny still, even though I did powder. So I'm gonna have to keep testing out the skin tint. I don't know if it was something in my skincare that didn't react well with this or what. I'm still trying to figure that out, but I'm gonna keep testing this out with other powders maybe and other primers just to see how it might wear with some other makeup. I don't love the fact that I have to mix 2 shades, but then again, there are only 8 shades, so I'm not surprised that I had to do that. Unfortunately, this didn't work out for me so far, but I'm gonna keep trying it. Surprisingly, the blush is almost completely gone, and it actually faded by the time I had been wearing everything for about 2 to 3 hours, so it faded pretty quickly. I don't know if maybe it was because of the skin tint, so I'm gonna try these liquid blushes with other foundations and see if maybe they wear a little bit longer. And the powder blush, I don't know that I can see it on my skin at all. I did apply it over top of the liquid one, so I thought it would have helped to keep the blush for like a few hours at least, but I don't know. The blush is just not really there anymore. I feel like this formula has worn better over top of other foundations. I don't remember it fading this quickly on my skin, so again, it might be because of the skin tint. Yeah, I feel like even though it looked shiny, my skin feels a little bit tight. So I don't know if it was because of the matte setting spray. Maybe that's why I'm getting that bit of tightness, because it is a matte setting mist. And the shininess is just the skin tint. I do like the eyeshadow primer so far, but I'm gonna try it with some other eyeshadow formulas, some other palettes in my collection, just to see how this performs with them. But the eyeshadow is looking pretty good, even after 6 hours. I don't feel like it faded too badly. And the lipsticks, I really like these. I like the shades that I got. I like how comfortable the formula is. It's super creamy, super pigmented, and I don't feel like it dried out my lips a ton throughout the day. It did completely fade, which I'm not surprised because it is such a creamy formula, so not very long wearing, even paired with a lip liner. It wore for maybe like 2 hours, and once I ate, it completely rubbed off. So those are my thoughts on all of the new Wet n Wild makeup releases. I'm gonna keep testing everything out and see if I can make certain things work a little bit better for me. But that is gonna be it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.